Threading a SMITCH 5 thread industrial overlocker, the model 757. It's a universal model number, so regardless of the brand of the machine, the threading is the same. So let's start by showing you how to open the covers. This is the cover here. You pull to the right and bring it down. Then this cover here, push it and you open to the side. This is the tools that you need: a tweezer like this, another tool that pulls the thread, and then a nipper, right? The 5 thread machines, the 5th thread comes from the back and on the side like that. The 4 threads are just normal without the side here. So threading the machine now, the cotton stands are all the same on all the machines. You put your cotton on the stand here. On the holder, you take your thread, it goes up in this guide, comes down here, right? So I'm going to start threading the 5th thread. You take the thread, you put it in here, in this first guide, in the second guide, and now you need to pull your thread through here. This is where the stool comes in. You take the stool, push it in, so it goes in this way here. You push it in, you hook your thread here. Just hook your thread, hold it lightly, and then let it come through. It'll come through with ease. You got your thread now. You have a guide here, attention. Right? You take your thread, you put it in there. First guide, pull it through, in between the tension disc, and then in the second guide that you see here. Now you take the thread, put it in here like a guide here, right? This thing, it lifts up so you can easily thread it. So then your thread, after you put it in here, it will go underneath this piece here, then in this guide here, then you can drop it back down, right? This is your cover here. It's like a guard, and then this is your foot. It moves to the side so you can easily thread the needles, right? To open it, your needles need to be lifted up. This lock here, or the lifter, you pull it up, and then you see here you got a lock that holds this arm, right? It will come out easily. When you're putting it back, you need to lift, push it in, and it will lock, right? Let's just open it now, right? This here is your loop, your needles. This is your 2 needles. This is your upper looper, and if you turn here, there's the lower looper, and there's the chain looper. This is basically your 5th thread. This that you see here, this is your lower looper, this is your upper looper, this is your left needle, and this is your right needle. Alright, now we'll continue. Take the thread, put it in the guide here, then you have a guide here, put it in there, then behind, from the back to the front, put that in. And then if you can turn the wheel and put your thread in from here, do it. Otherwise, just take your thread and pull it through right to the front of your machine. Then from here you can just try to drop it. Turn the wheel, pull it through here, and just try to grab your thread from here like this, and then put it in the chain looper just like that. Alright, then you can just cut it off because it's a bit long, and leave it loose, it's fine. Right? If you want to take it, some people take the thread and put it on top here, that's also fine. You can do that like this. Alright, so that's the chain looper that's done. Now we'll start with threading the rest of the machine. So we'll start with the bottom looper. So you take your thread, put it in here, take it to the back, put it in this guide here, in your tension guide, in between your tension disc, in this guide here, Then you put it through here, bring it down. You have a guide here, put it in there. Then in here, then in the guide that's closer to you. Alright, then in here, then you take your thread, put it in this guide here. Then you grab this thread and push it to the back. Alright, push it this way. You hold it, you turn your wheel. Your wheel moves clockwise on the overlockers. So turn it on most of the overlockers. Right? Then take your thread, put it in here from the back. Then it come out. Then you take your thread and push it back to the front, because we need to complete threading the overlocker. Alright. The looper, put it in this looper here, front of it. And then you grab the thread, then you put it over the plate, so that your bottom looper is done. We'll move on to the upper looper. So you put it in here, in this guide here, in here, in between the tension disc, like that. Then in here. Then after that, you bring it down in this guide here. Then you got a guide here. Put it in this guide. Then in this guide here. Then you got another guide here. Just knock it off here. In here. You cup it. You got another guide here. Do you see? Then you turn the wheel a little bit. There's another guide behind there. Put it in here. You grab it again. Then your looper. Take the thread, put it in here. Alright. Then you put it in the looper. That's done. So your loopers are done now. So now after you're done, you just make sure that your thread is free. It's not hooked around any guide. So you got 3 now. So what's left is the 2 needles, the right needle and the left needle. Right, so now start with the right needle, put it in this guide again, take it to the back here, in this guide, in between your tension disc here. Then you got a guide here, put it in this guide, then here. Alright, then turn the wheel a little bit, then you put it in here, bottom one, then you put it there. Alright, you turn the wheel, just put it in nicely there. You have a guide here. On your needle clamp. Right. Better to thread your needles last, otherwise it gets hooked. Right. Okay, this broke off. Let's put it again. come in between there again. Okay, that's done. Actually must putting it in a guide. Let me just put it in a guide there. This nipper comes in handy. Put it in the needle from the front to the back. Alright. Then this is the last one. Take your thread, put it inside from the back, in the guide, same way. In here, in between the tension disc, we have a guide here. Then you have a guide here. Just done this nicely. In this other guide here. In the guide here. In here. Needle clamp guide. Then from front to back, you just put your thread in the needle. That's it. Now you see this thing got hooked here, so we're just gonna take it out. So now you got all 5 in your hand. All 5 threads in your hand. You close the cover, close here, you lift, and you're good to go.